Big move to West Ham United has been cancelled because we start with breaking news this morning that after appearing to indicate that he was heading to East London, it now appears that Jesse Lingard is heading to the East Midlands. Is this a good move or a massive coup for Nottingham Forest? What do you see it as? Because it looks like he was going to go to West Ham. Now Nottingham Forest have offered him a deal. He's going to go there instead.
Looks that way. Nothing's done in this transfer window until it's done. I think we've learned that a few times. It is a coup for Nottingham Forest to get someone of his experience, someone who scored a winning goal in an FA Cup final, someone who's been to a World Cup with England. No question about that. West Ham over the weekend were confident that they would get the deal done. Obviously had a brilliant loan spell there under David Moyes. He spent a lot of time this summer working out where he wants to go. He had a tour around America to sound out interest there. There was an offer from Saudi Arabia. It looks like he will stay in the Premier League. But for Jesse Lingard, I'm not convinced this is the best move that he could make. I think it comes down to money. The offer that Nottingham Forest have got on the table, as I understand it...
Why shouldn't it come down to money?
It is more than what West Ham are offering. Because this is a player who needs to revive his career, and he did that for a short spell at West Ham. So there's a manager in David Moyes that he knows gets the best out of him. He's got relationships with some of those West Ham players. He struck up a really close bond with Declan Rice in particular. I think it's a no-brainer for Jesse Lingard to go back to West Ham. If you're talking about 30 grand a week difference... Listen, he's a multi-millionaire anyway. He doesn't need the extra 30 grand a week. West Ham, for me, would be a better career move. Basically, Nottingham Forest is starting the season in a relegation battle. I said yesterday, I think they'll be all right. But that they would admit themselves, the first priority is to finish 17th. If he goes to West Ham, he's joining a club with ambitions to challenge for Europe. They're in Europe, albeit in the Conference League. They're a top 10 side now. They've established themselves as such.
If reports are true, I can't understand Lingard choosing Forest over West Ham, says one texter this morning. Why would he do that other than the wages? Well,
I think you look at Nottingham Forest, it's a huge club. It's got a lot of history. I think the manager is very good. He come across really well with the 21s and then took the job, done a superb job for Nottingham Forest last year. But they've lost a lot of key players. Jed Spencer's gone, the keeper Samba's gone, James Garner's gone back to Manchester United, free kick specialist. So I think they're going to be a weaker side. They have brought players in, but we're still yet to know whether they're going to cut it in the Premier League. But listen, it's Jesse's choice. I think it's a bigger opportunity going back to West Ham. But we don't know what's going through his head. We don't know the conversations that he's had with West Ham and that he's had with Steve Cooper. I know he has got a good relationship with David Moyes, but maybe he's looking at him thinking, you know what, I'm looking at that side. I might not be as good as I was the first time round, and my game time might be limited. So maybe if I go to Nottingham Forest, I'll get more game time. I feel I can force my way into that side. It's a World Cup year, and maybe that's his thinking.
And maybe, actually, he's bought into the project at Nottingham Forest because they have lost a few of their loan players that got them to the Premier League, but they've signed Dean Henderson as the goalkeeper, and not too long ago he was going to be Manchester United's number one. They've signed Nico Williams at right back, and Niakate at centre-half. They've signed Omar Richards from Bayern Munich as a left-back, which was a real problem area for them last season because they were struggling and putting Jack Cole back in that position. Actually, it might free Jack to play further into midfield. Biancone, who can play at right back, and I think he can play as one of the three centre-halves if they need him to do that. They've kept hold of Brennan Johnson and signed him down to a new contract, and they've spent £18 million on Union Berlin striker Taiwo Awoniyi, who scored 15 goals in the Bundesliga last season. I think the manager, who has got great qualities as well, probably believes that he's building something that is going to be a little bit more ambitious than just staying in the Premier League next season, and maybe he's convinced Jesse Lingard that too.
I'm sure the pay packet has convinced Jesse Lingard of that. Listen, let's be honest.
Isn't that just a little bit cynical?
No, this comes down to money. It's all been about money. If it wasn't about money, he would have been fixed up by now already. I mean, he's wasted the summer, really. You know, again, not played much football since the turn of the years, needs to get back up to match sharpness. The Premier League season starts in, 2.5 weeks?
Be interesting to see how he starts the season, especially with a lot of the teams, been in pre-season now at least a month.
Exactly.
What work has he been doing? He might have been in with a club privately, doing some training, doing exactly the same training that other players have done, but keeping it on the down low. So we don't know, and I think it's bad to call judgment on that, but it will be interesting to see how he starts and then look at what he did pre-season.
Isn't your problem really with Jesse Lingard the fact that you don't like the fact that he keeps posting on social media?
I think he's turned into a bit of a soap opera. and I don't think some of his activity is befitting of a footballer who's nearly
Like
30
what?
years of age. A lot of West Ham fans are quite frustrated with the way, as I say, he's turned it into a drama, even posting last night on Instagram a picture of his private jet, so excited, but no real indication.
Isn't that what everyone
of
does
where he was
nowadays?
going? Well, a lot of players do it once it's clear where their destination is. I think West Ham fans feel a bit disrespected by his conduct. And listen, we're saying all this, he might yet change his mind and go and play for West Ham. It doesn't look likely. And actually, the West Ham fans that I've spoken to this morning are just sick to the back teeth of it, because this has not been going on since the end of May. This started last summer and in
But hold
January
on,
when they were trying to sign
as you
him.
always tell us, and you have been telling us over the last couple of days, this is a very early in the transfer window. Yeah, it's still, we've got till the beginning of September before the transfer window closes. Why should a free agent decide early that he has to commit to a club when actually his job is to negotiate the best deal?
Because he needs to get himself back up to match sharpness. He's someone
But
who
he,
hasn't
as
played
Trevor
a
said,
lot
he
of football
might
in the
have
last
already
year.
been doing that. You remember when he came back into the Manchester United team, in fact, when he went into the West Ham
Yeah, he
team
did
first
superb.
of all,
I couldn't believe his
after not
fitness.
playing for 6 months, he was in fantastic fessel. He was in brilliant
And I
shape.
think that's
and he
what the-
went bursting onto
But,
the scene again.
but Trevor will tell you how important this pre-season
It
phase
is.
is for any footballer.
It is, but I mean, I think Jesse's quite individual when it comes to this, because he obviously was struggling to get into the Manchester United team and he wasn't training with the main team. But if you look at the performances and his fitness levels when he got to West Ham, and he used to post a lot of pictures and videos on Instagram and Twitter about his training. He has got that motivation to do hard work on his own. He's got people around him that can give him the right kind of training that he needs to do to make sure that whatever club he goes into, he can hit the ground running. So that's why I'm quite interested wherever he ends up, what he starts the season like, because I know that he's got it in the locker where he can train to a certain level that he will be up to scratch.
I guess there's a second side of the story to this, and maybe we'll tackle it after the next break. But for West Ham, we know they've got ambitious bids in for a number of players, Lingard being one of them in terms of what they were offering financially, although clearly not as much as Forest. Are they actually going to get these signings over the line? Because there's a big gone in for Brozier, Scamacca, the Italian striker. Doesn't at the moment look like that one is really accelerating. Onana, the Lille midfielder, they lost Aguerd, one of the players they have signed this summer, to what looked like a nasty ankle injury last night. So is this potentially, for West Ham fans, is this the owners going after unrealistic targets as they've been accused of doing in the past?
Well, they did lose last night as well, 3-1 to Rangers, and although pre-season results don't mean too much, we're going to get Trevor's reaction as to what that might mean going forward and whether or not they have done enough business to continue to challenge as they have done for the European places over the last few seasons. Yesterday it appeared that West Ham was going to be Jesse Lingard's destination. An Instagram story that he shared was a cryptic snap of a takeaway shop called the Chicken Run, the name given to the old East Stand at Hammers Old
I know it
Upton
well.
Park. Lingard also included the caption, "If you know, you know," with a heart emoji. But are those West Ham hearts about to be broken? Is he going to go to Nottingham Forest? We might find out today, and we'll continue to discuss that and a lot more here on talkSPORT, including why there are no new faces at Leicester City.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.